Hi, my dears, how are you? Let's start this reading for Taurus. Just a reminder, if you want to book a private reading with me, go to pollination.com.er, which is my scheduling website. The link is in the description of this video. Go ahead and book a reading with me if you feel like it's the right time for you. I'll be happy to draw the cards for you. There's also a link there for my members club. See if it's something you'd like to be a part of, okay? All the details about how it works are there. Very well. What's coming towards Taurus at this moment? What's coming towards Taurus at this moment? Oh my goodness, what exactly is coming towards the constellation of Taurus? Movement, it's a leap towards a blessing. A leap towards a blessing. And then the first thing I actually heard was accelerated movement, right? Because the animal on this card is really fast. What else can we find out? Movement shows up again, okay? With the Six of Swords here on the table. Movement. With the Six of Swords here on the table. And then there's something like that this conversation is bringing. And you see clearly now. You see clearly the journey itself, including. Why? Of course, you can't know everything. But there are some things that are already normalized for you, that you already know what to expect when you are going through this kind of energy. For example, the standard, the type of situation that once I'm in that kind of movement in the direction of a blessing, that's also part of the path, is to cross paths with people and situations that can inspire doubt, insecurity, make me want to change my mind, go back, situations that feed a lot of my own doubt, my own uncertainty, so you need to keep an eye on that. And it's then an opportunity, in quotes, to act incoherently. Do what you set out to do. It's the accelerated movement of the Eight of Wands here on the table. It's important at this moment to have a Taurus-like energy, which is focus and determination. So that's going to be very useful for you right now. Don't deal with things in extremes. It's not about being stubborn and unyielding. On the contrary, it's just focus. And then, while you're crossing the path, observe things. With the wisdom to consider both sides of the coin. Be teachable, while at the same time setting healthy boundaries. Yours are not complete sentences. Allowing yourself to expand is also part of, how do you say it? Setting healthy boundaries. Pay attention to the details, take care of the little things, let the big movement be the energy the universe is bringing. You are paying attention to the details, taking care of the issues, as we said here, of everyday life itself, those things that are well within your reach. And know that you are co-creating with the universe, you are not working alone. This came up for Sagittarius. I think it was in some reading, it really resonated with me. The affirmation of these two cards together here is, act as someone who believes in themselves. And that might be a challenge right now, but that's just part of it. You also don't need to identify with it so much. Acting like someone who doubts themselves. When I'm also dealing with very dual energies, and with this movement and with change, often also like it's understandable. You also have to be careful not to keep bringing that up too much. So I'm 100% that person? Not always. Not always. What else can we say about this Taurus energy? It depends on the case. All right? So this message is saying here that things are going to happen in a way that's different from what you planned. That's what this card says. Let's just accept that. And that things happen differently to lead us in a better direction than what we thought was possible. Let me put it this way. But then this message is saying that when things happen differently, depending on our mindset, we immediately interpret it as rejection, as if things are going wrong, not working out, being blocked, being stuck, this and that. So be careful not to, once again, assign a meaning of rejection when the universe redirects your path. With this card, also be careful not to try to force things to happen, or rather, don't try to control the outcome. I have a vision and an idea of what the path is, what life is, what love is, what X is. And then I keep doing things just to confirm that narrative, that thought. Don't do that. Be present, do your part, stay teachable, and remember that there's a certain kind of energy at play, which often, with all this movement, can lead to what? A bit of anxiety, right? It can cause a bit of anxiety. This is one of those moments when it's worth remembering. Who are you when you're dealing with change? Remember times when you moved houses, or changed jobs, or changed your routine in some way. What did you need in those moments? What did you notice that didn't work out, that didn't go well, and what actually helped you? So start putting those things into practice now. That's the mindset you need. I'm dealing with movement, I'm dealing with change, and I'm going to support myself in that way. The other thing is also part of this journey, of this specific movement in the journey. Soon I'll start dealing with dual energy, which has a big chance of inspiring doubt, uncertainty, mistrust. So if you combine that with me not acting like someone who believes in themselves, not acting like someone who believes in their own path, it's a mix that, woohoo, recipe for trouble. For eventually. If not everyone, at least you end up feeling dissatisfied. So, trust your path. Nobody knows everything. But when you reach this energy as well, there's a movement you've already started to make. There's a vision you've already started to have for yourself. You get it? So keep the vision. Again, it's not stubbornness. It's not about being inflexible. It's not about being controlling. There's a nuance and there's a difference. And the key word that sets one apart from the other is this: harmony, balance. Not being at the extremes, not competing, not comparing, not controlling. So keep your eyes very present on your own moment, your own circumstances. Don't keep comparing yourself to someone else's reality, because they're different variables. At the very least, that. You and another person in exactly the same circumstances. It's already a different mix, because you are different people. So it's a different recipe. What else can we say about this Taurus energy here? At this moment, I find it interesting for us to talk like this. So also, why do I feel this message is speaking to us? Turn down the noise of everything that only serves to feed confusion and distrust, okay? That doesn't mean you're being oblivious, no. At this particular moment, it's better for you to stay grounded, keep your feet on the ground, pay attention to your own path, allow movement, collaborate with the flow, and look at the subtlety, the specifics, the smallness of things in your daily life. That's where you make a difference, okay? But there will be this dual energy coming from other people, and there will be this dual energy that arises from within you, right? Because again, this kind of energy only grows on our path when it hooks onto our own doubts, our own distrust, our own uncertainty, you know? So this moment right here, look, this leap, you see that in this image, there's a leap happening here. We're talking about a leap again, right? So like, take this leap to overcome obstacles. And then the Nine of Pentacles is the card of harvest in this deck, right? It's talking about material harvest. So this part of the journey is about that, is to overcome obstacles. That would be obstacles to the harvest, at least for that reason. Because and stop walking, or because I came from the wrong side. Then you want to go back, understand? Then what else can we say that helps keep us going? We understand what not to do. Now what can help to maintain it? What it does? Oh man, look, it's not a little, okay? This next card brings Lilith, right? Lilith is the part of us that does not submit. So, in your process of setting healthy boundaries, there will be moments when it doesn't matter. It's not about whether the other person is telling the truth or lying, whether the other person has my best interest at heart or not. It's not about that. It's about recognizing, well, I'm looking, paying attention to things, doing my part, observing, communicating, doing, observing, asking to do anyway. I am as they say, normal, just acting normal. Then I start to realize that, okay, the circumstances are at the end of the day that with all these ingredients in this situation, thank you. I've already done my part. But then I realized that it doesn't work. Or the suggestion to make it work, to create movement, to bring about change, to move forward, comes down to the following. I find myself in a position of complete lack, or not feeling well, or of disrespect, whatever it may be. That's it. That's all I need to know. It doesn't matter what the other person thinks I have, what I am, or what I'm not. I've been through that myself, actually. That's something that to get to this point in the journey, there was already a need to know how to choose your own battles. Enough so, at least one truly important situation, or perhaps even a few, have already happened where you have had to carefully choose which battles to fight. Very well. That one you went through. How interesting. You saw the card. I'm saying, have you already been through it? Then the card went all the way to the back. Very well. So the main thing for you to know how to identify, okay? It was about communication. Observing your words. Understanding communication. Recognizing competitive communication. Hostile. How do you say? That serves the purpose of fueling opposition or creating competition. I've already said competitive, right? Or what else? Manipulation, mind games, these things, little games of interest and so on. So, where does it come from? How did it fit for each one? Well enough, because you made it this far, so you've already dealt with this. Great. Now this is truly a significant moment where you absolutely need to act like someone who genuinely believes in yourself and your inherent capabilities, because you will certainly have the remarkable opportunity to overcome various challenges and difficult situations that really were significant obstacles to your progress and ultimate harvest. But it's not because someone else possesses more inherent power or control over your personal path and destiny than you yourself do. If God is with me, who can be against me? Got it? So again, don't feed this kind of energy, because what you feed grows in your path, because you yourself feed it, you make it grow, you fatten up that little pig yourself. So this message comes to say, what should you do then when you find yourself recognizing these dynamics again? Because just to reinforce, the message said, you know exactly what we're talking about. So now I get here, I'm not in opposition, I'm navigating the third way. It's the gray area, great. Even so, I'm still setting healthy boundaries. I'm positioning myself not based on what the other person is or isn't, or what could possibly be in this situation or not, if everything were to change. Is it possible for everything to change and end up the way I want? That's not the mindset, okay? Things are as they are here and now. I've already done it. I've already observed. The fact is, feet on the ground, this is how it is. In conversations, I notice the polarity. I just really noticed that for something to become an opportunity for me, a continuation within how this dynamic is happening, of what this person is telling me, is presenting to me or not. It will involve this, that I will have to abandon myself, disrespect myself in some way to follow the path of this opportunity, this connection, etc. Very well, and this is where the part about overcoming the challenge comes in, which is this energy that does not submit. Not because it is in conflict, in hostility, feeding opposition. That's not what it's about. It's not about fighting with the other person, being against the other. How do you say it? None of that. It's about really being on your own side, really supporting yourself, really being on your own team, helping yourself, not abandoning yourself, right? Not making things harder for yourself. That's not a good deal, making things harder for yourself. Challenges, well, everyone has problems, right? But each person has to deal with their own too, has to cooperate. All right, so the next card, creating heaven on earth. This expression comes to say, about a new phase where some things you consider ideal for yourself, they can become part of your path. It's not an empty promise, especially because as this starts to take shape, I think it's already clear. The magic works through you. You start to see, you start to take a stand, you start to evaluate, you start to set your healthy boundaries. Learning to communicate or noticing more in conversations, in communication beyond the surface, those kinds of things, okay? So that's why the path transforms with our collaboration. And this message reinforces that, look, it's already happening, it's already in motion, okay, Taurus? So when I ask what's coming your way, it's the moment of the leap itself. There will be at least one opportunity where you'll jump over an obstacle, right? What used to be an obstacle. And now, with more ability to perceive, to do, to say than you had before, normal. That's how it works. For all of us, we keep moving forward, living and learning. And so this opportunity to leap over an obstacle, which we already had the blessing here on the table, heading toward a blessing. And I also want to remind you that there's a 9 of Pentacles here, which speaks of harvests. So heading toward harvests. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Then the message, wow, it's saying this, look. Again, in the challenge position, what was the missing piece? You acting like someone who believes in themselves. At the beginning, these cards came up in the challenge position. I adjusted them. Then it showed up again. So there was something missing, which was you acting like someone who believes in themselves. Great. Because there's truth. Look here, Saturn bringing this card that speaks of truth. So many times you have clarity. You may not have the absolute truth, but you're also not trying to control other people's lives. You're trying to improve your own. So as long as you have clarity about your own truth here and now, knowing that you will live, you will learn more. And some things are fundamental, but others you will change your perspective on. But it's not in doubt, in uncertainty, in insecurity, in guilt, in shame, in fear of losing, in fear of making mistakes, in fear of wanting to be and not being able to be because I did everything wrong. It's not in that frequency that there is the harvest there, okay? So sometimes it's like this, whether it is a yes or a no. If I am making a significant mistake at this very moment in time, then I'm going to need to forgive myself. I'm going to need to forgive myself. Because the only truth I see about this situation, at this moment, about myself, etc., is this one here. This is my clarity. And I need to maintain my internal authority. Because I walk the path of what I nurture. When I start to give in too much to someone else's idea, to someone else's mind, soon I find myself trying to walk someone else's path. All right? And then it's like a snowball. Everything is part of it. Everything is part of it. Every path is good. But I want to emphasize what comes in Taurus's direction right now. The opportunity to overcome an obstacle on the way to blessing and harvest by listening to yourself, by staying true to your own truth, to act like someone who believes in themselves. Okay? Very well. Taurus, I hope this reading has served you well. To book a private reading with me, you already know, it's at pollination.com.br, which is the scheduling website. The link is in the video description. Big kiss to you all. Good luck, and see you next time.